Welcome to Simply Heaven, the podcast where we tackle the biggest question of all time: what happens after I die? And more importantly, how do I get into heaven? Join us as we dive into what the Bible says, explore other perspectives from other religions, and share some wild personal stories along the way. This is a space for honest and real conversations for those looking for hope in this broken world. So grab a coffee, settle in, and join us as we uncover the truth together.
I guess I'm doing the intro. Is that?
Yeah, you're the intro guy.
All right, here we are, back again. And we're here on site today.
We are.
We're at David's brand new apartment.
Yep,
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll give you a little.
Yeah.
We're
in the Crosstalk studios instead of the Leo studios today.
Yeah, this is true. So I don't know if it sounds better or worse. I don't hear it.
Yeah, well,
you can take credit. You can be totally like, yes, it sounds amazing.
I mean, I'll be very
100%
transparent.
clarity.
I mean, I think I don't notice any difference in the sound.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I think that goes to show like the quality of the equipment that you've provided. And
I'll take full credit for that.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, see?
Yeah. So being that we're live in Hamburg.
Yep, Hamburg, PA. Shout out.
And you're the so-called what's your self-proclaimed name of Hamburg? The King of Hamburg? Is that
No. No kings. No, I'm not the Hamburglar either.
I don't know what you.
I don't.
Your self-proclaimed.
I don't
name?
give myself the self-proclaimed
King
name.
David of Hamburg.
No. So, I mean, if we're going off of the downtown series, I go by Mr. Hamburg.
Mr. Hamburg.
But that is only derived from the jokingly truth that people have said, which is I've had people because of I do digital marketing.
Yes, you do.
I do.
Bag.
Yeah. So I do a lot of stuff in Hamburg.
You do.
And supporting the small businesses, the community, the town. Yep. I love this town. So people have jokingly.
Were you born and raised here? You were
No. So I was born in Newmanstown, PA. Well, I was born in Lebanon, raised in Newmanstown.
Yep. There's a movie theater in Newmanstown. I've been.
Yep.
That's about all I know.
Yeah. So I moved to Hamburg when I was in 7th grade.
Okay.
And graduated high school from here.
But you're emotionally here.
Yeah, this was always the place. Like, I can go back through Newmanstown, drive through there. I'll get the nostalgia feeling. Okay. But like, so for instance,
this feels like home to you.
Exactly.
This is where you're
because home. I left in.
Now, do you feel that Newmanstown is a small town, or do you feel Hamburg is a small town? Like, what's your...
So here's the main difference. In Newmanstown...
Because that's smaller than this.
Geographically, no, but in like the actual like town
patrons,
square.
Yeah.
But like in Newmanstown, though, like in the town itself, there's really not many businesses. It's more of like an actual like community town.
Yeah,
like,
there's houses on the main drag.
Right.
We're here, it's pretty full of business. And
especially, I mean, like
spirit.
4th and like we did the walking tour today. There's a lot of Hamburg's really built for the small business town, which is
it's not just Cabela's.
No, it's not just Cabela's. There's a ton in town. So like this is like your older style setup where like it's the business downstairs and then there's like the apartments upstairs.
Yeah. The business owners live in their work.
No, actually, none of them do.
See, like in West Reading, a lot of the business owners, their business is downstairs and they live upstairs.
Yeah, that's not the case here. A lot of the business owners actually live.
They live in Newmanstown.
Yeah, they live in Newmanstown. Yeah. Hamburg's great to do business, but not live in. No, I'm kidding. All of them live, except for one or two, live in Hamburg itself, in some capacity. Like, I mean, we were talking about like the owner of where we are now, the Mill on 3rd, which is where the studio and the apartment is. The owners live right above me.
Yeah.
Which they didn't always live up there, but they owning the building, they were like,
it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, right. Makes sense. So but because of the impact of the digital marketing and everything, people would like when they would introduce me to somebody, they would always just like jokingly be like, well, he's like Mr. Hamburg.
Yeah.
Or like he's like basically the mayor, stuff like that. And they would just throw it out there. So I don't call myself that personally.
Okay.
But people have said that jokingly. And then the downtown series, which by the way, if you are a fan of The Office and you want
do a lot of this. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was one of the things that I thought of for this year. One of the more innovative ways to do digital marketing is I recreated the Office style TV show, called it The Downtown. And it's the behind the scenes mockumentary style of
Yeah.
like The Office, but it's showcasing the business owners in Hamburg. So I'm portraying myself, but I'm also kind of running on this gag
of The Office.
Where I'm portraying like the Michael Scott character. So I'm like,
I figured that
overly egotistical.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like,
you don't have to watch many episodes of The Office to get it.
Right. Exactly. So I just took, I always like this for marketing itself. And I think you would appreciate it too.
Sure.
I see the low hanging fruit. Mm-hmm. So whether that is something that is true or something that is not true, I think that if you take it and you run with it, it's the best marketing.
It is. And people connecting and all that. Yeah.
Right. So like, I know that people have said that about me.
Sure.
Even
you're
if
a people person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you're open.
And I was like, you know what? If I'm going to be portraying this like Michael Scott main character role and trying to produce this and do everything, I was like...
And Scranton's a small town.
And Scranton's a small town. Yeah. So I was like, how can I take that and run with it? And I took it and ran with it by just literally wearing the hat in an obnoxious way of saying, I am Mr. Hamburg. So now in the series itself, I do proclaim I am the... self-proclaimed
king of
Hamburg. Mr. Hamburg.
Mr. Hamburg.
And
it goes further back than this. You ended so people understand in context. In Hamburg, there's a hamburger festival.
There is,
play on words. I think.
Yep, it's.
When is July?
No, it's Labor Day weekend.
When is it? I'm sorry.
Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend, and how many people come through Hamburg at that given time?
35,000 to 40,000.
And how many live here currently?
6,000. Hamburg's kind of split. So, the downtown itself, which is like the borough of Hamburg.
Yeah.
And this area is 6,100 people or something like that. And then Hamburg technically, geographically, also extends past. So like the bridge up here.
Yeah.
So once you cross over 61, that's Tilden Township, but it's still technically Hamburg.
Okay.
So then population grows like that, right?
And what do you think the population is just off the top of your head? I'm not going to hold you to it.
I would probably guess if we're looking in the full geographical area, probably like 10, 15,000 people,
Sure, that sounds about right to me. Yeah. So if you take 10 to 15,000 people and then on one given weekend, Labor Day weekend, Hamburger Fest, you're saying
35 to 40,000, yeah.
It's almost 3 times the amount of people.
Yep, they shut down almost the whole downtown of Hamburg,
and it's a great event. I've been.
Yeah,
food trucks. Obviously, there's hamburgers.
Yeah, ton of hamburgers. I mean, you'll have the best hamburgers you'll ever have. Like, and it's not even just like regular hamburgers.
No.
There's the creative ones. Like, there's donut hamburgers, mac and cheese hamburgers. Like, so many good options.
You can have the gamut. If you could think it, somebody's created it.
Oh yeah,
Hamburger Fest wise.
Yeah, and
so you would say you love small business.
Absolutely
love small town.
I love small town. Love small business. I think, when I started my business, I had the motto, which is our community thrives.
Yes.
When our local businesses succeed.
Yes. So my question to you is, and this is what we're going to get into today, and the reason why I asked you all this is because, what's more biblical? Small business, small town? Or big city, big town? Or I guess big city, big job, big work, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And that's a great question. And
I'm going to
go ahead.
Leave out the chains. I'm not talking chain. I'm talking, because I don't feel that they feel the same as either of those categories.
By chains, do you mean like a McDonald's, like restaurant style?
Yeah.
Now, would you include Amazon with that?
Amazon, I wouldn't, because that started off as a small town, small business.
But so did McDonald's.
Grew. Yeah, but
every business, it doesn't matter. Every business, no business starts out and it's global.
Correct. Yeah, you're right.
So like I'll be honest, like I don't eat fast food. I don't really like.
It's not for me.
I probably the last time I was at a McDonald's was like 9 or 10 years ago.
But I feel the difference between Amazon and McDonald's is McDonald's isn't really trying to help your community.
I can see that.
Where Amazon, I feel,
but
gives more jobs, better paying jobs as well.
Yeah, I can see that.
They
but
do a service that everybody needs.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see it both sides.
Yeah. I guess it's a thin line with Amazon. Very,
very thin line. But what I was going to say is, one of the better movies that I've ever seen is actually The Founder, which is this.
Seen that.
It's the story.
Michael Keaton's in that, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
But it's the story of McDonald's and the franchise,
Yeah.
and you get to see. I mean, it's honestly, if you haven't watched it, I mean, it's an incredible watch. I'll say that it's one of my.
Yeah, I know of it. I just never seen it.
Being a business owner and everything like that, it's one of those really cool movies that you get to watch the real life behind the scenes of what actually took place. Because Michael, the owner of,
and is this about the beginning of McDonald's?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It starts with the one singular McDonald's burgers in California, I think it was.
Sure.
And this medical equipment sales rep comes, sees them, he was looking for investment opportunities, sees the restaurant, sees how they're running, how they're able to make everything so quick.
Yeah.
They're doing everything that's so different. And then he's the one that convinces the owners to expand. And then you get to see the mindset philosophy of like how McDonald's and why they make a lot of their money is because instead of just having a location and then they pay somebody for their rent, like most of their money, they buy the land and then they make the owner of the franchise pay for the rent of that land. Yeah. So then they're making more money. Like
they make more money off of the property than they do the actual hamburger.
Exactly.
Yeah, I heard.
So that is like that thought process, how he got to that idea, like that's in the movie. So like you get to see like this like mental processy of like how they were able to go from a small chain to growing globally. Yeah. And it was really cool. I don't necessarily say I agree with everything that the owner did, the CEO, okay. But yeah. So
my little tidbit, weird little fact, this is a true story. My grandfather back in like the 50s was offered stock in McDonald's.
And he passed up on it, didn't he?
Do you know what his reason was?
I would love to hear this.
His reasoning was, you can't market to children. They don't have money. That's a true story.
Well, I wonder what that stock would... Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder how much that stock would be worth now.
A lot. Because he could have bought, I guess, from what I know, the rumor is, he could have bought a good amount of stock in McDonald's.
Yeah. Wow.
That's one of the first people to,
That's incredible to think about.
Yeah, incredibly dumb. This is the story of my life.
Yeah.
I should have, could have, would have, but...
So I want to understand the question a little bit better because you're saying small town, small business, or big city, big business.
Yeah. So my biblical question is, who's more important to us? Is it the big business, big city, or is it the small city, smaller homegrown business?
Yeah.
What should we, as a Christian community, where should we go?
It's a great question.
Yeah. And
so
who should we spend our money with?
Here's one of those weird things that like, there's really nothing in the Bible that's like, all right, well, you should only shop local. Like this is more of a, modernized concept of things.
Sure. It's a philosophical question, I guess.
But what I would say is the best answer I can give, and I can find the scriptures to back this up, but and not to get political because this can also get, dependingly, it could get a little political.
We're not trying to offend anybody. We're not trying to say there's one is better than the other. That's not what we're trying to do. We're just.
But one of the basic Christian principles is that in order to make an impact, it starts at the home first.
You're correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So you start at the home and then you grow out and then you go to your neighbors. Yeah. Then it's your town. Then it's, a couple towns. Then you got your county. Then your county to your state. Your state to, whatever coast.
Keep growing.
Right. So.
Just like McDonald's.
Exactly. Yeah. And so when it comes to what's more biblical.
Yeah.
In theory, and this is my belief. This isn't, this isn't
this is
biblical. This is the Book of David here. Yeah. I think it is. I think there is a larger.
I love that I'm getting you to think. By the way,
I love this. Because this is a really great question, and it's like. I don't want to say that it's more biblical to shop local, but I would say I feel my own convictions and what God's put on my heart. Yeah, I feel like it is more Christian of me, and not even more Christian, but I feel better. About putting my money back into my local economy than I do about giving it to a business that maybe is owned overseas or is owned. So
it's more Americanized. I agree. And I think you should, I agree with that 100%. I I feel more comfortable spending it on USA made products.
Yeah.
But do I necessarily want to give my money just to why I'm missing businesses because I'm in why I'm missing? Or do I branch off and go down to Philly and spend my money?
Yeah, and I think where my philosophy goes down to, and one of the things, and I'll tie this in because we were talking like more the digital marketing side, but for 2020, for every year I try to give up something. So like 2025, I gave up. It's hard to kind of explain it, but like because I was going through the divorce and everything like that, 2025 was the year of like my past was I always had a woman in my life.
Yeah.
So not in a very. I gave up women. Yeah.
Yeah, and not you gave up women as more in your life, but more of the relationship intimacy.
No intimacy, no relationship. Like I wasn't outwardly looking or having and even acknowledging like a woman to be in my life in that capacity.
Yeah. Plus, now you sleep in a hammock.
I do sleep in a hammock. That helps.
Yeah,
that helps. It's not a 2-person hammock either.
It's not a 2-person hammock.
No, that's a one. We have not yet. But if you play your cards right,
I don't even know how we would sleep. Would we?
You just be right on top.
Oh, thanks. No, I meant would my head be at your feet and vice versa?
Oh, no. It would be like
spoon?
It would be not even a spoon. I don't think the side by side would work. No, it'd be like a full on koala on top.
Koala on top.
You just nestle your head right into my shoulder.
No, see, this is where we're missing Steve because me would bump heads.
Right. Steve, we'd just be
about
curled up
4
in a ball.
foot taller than us.
I was gonna say, his knees would be untouched and his shoulders would be untouched. Yeah. So. Yeah, so I gave that up in 2025.
Yeah.
In 2026, I felt it on my heart, and it was great because it was also something that, kind of fits my brand and my business, which was I'm giving up shopping big business.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful, by the way.
And thank you.
Yeah.
And I drew the lines at like including gas stations, like no Amazon.
So you're not going to Wawa.
No Wawa, no Sheets, no Rudders.
That's tough. That's really commitment.
And I'm lucky because we have a local family-owned gas station in town, and they do have cheaper gas than.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, cheapest gas in Hamburg. Shout out to Hawk Petro.
Okay.
And I don't. And I've been asked this more recently, because it's like, where am I really drawing the line? Because like, for instance, a lot of these franchises that we're talking about are actually owned by small business owners.
Sure, this is how they provide food.
Right. So like, I'm going to shout out the Ritas in Hamburg. They reached out.
Oh, did they really? Well, good for you.
For to do some collaboration stuff together and work together. And God bless her soul. She's a devout Christian as well.
Oh, wow.
And that's something I want to touch up on another note too.
Yeah.
But she was like, "Hey, she's like, I'm just going to be honest with you." She was like, "I was really hesitant about reaching out to you." I was like, "Why?"
Why?
And she said, "Well, because you are doing this whole thing of only shopping small and like you work with small local businesses." And she's like, "And I run a franchise business."
She runs a franchise.
And she's like, so I was like,
she's a small town person, right?
So here's where this gets really funny.
Yeah.
So we were having this conversation and she's sharing that with me. She's like, I didn't want to like reach out and then, I don't fit that mold and like it make, kind of goes in the contrary.
I understand her thought process.
So, you know how most business meetings go, which is like, I would be trying to sell her on why she should use me as her service.
Yeah.
Instead, I was trying to sell her on why it makes sense for us to work together. Because I was like, you are a small business owner, though.
She is, yes, technically. Yeah.
I was like, because, you do have to pay your percentage. Like,
You do.
Rita's takes their percentage, and they do everything like that. But I was like...
But you get the name Rita's.
But you get
I don't
the
know
name
what her
Rita's.
name is, but...
Yeah. But I was like... but
Rita sells better than Sally's Italian Ice.
Right. And I said, but you are still... She's local to the community.
Yeah. She gives back.
She gives back. She is an active member in a lot of the community events that go on, giving back. She does fundraisers all the time for and all the high school sports teams, extracurricular activities. Like, she is really invested in the community. I was like, so I would consider you a small local business.
Yeah.
And she was like, I didn't really think of it like that.
Yeah.
And
I guess that's a good question then. Where does the line draw?
Because
like if you own a McDonald's.
Right. And that's where I was like, and then I was like, well, like for me, for coffee, like I love coffee.
Yeah.
And there's so many great options in town, but we also have on the outside, like right by the Cabela's and everything like that. There's Dunkin' Donuts. There's a Starbucks.
There's both, yeah.
So I was like, okay, but like, then where do I draw the line? Because I know that Dunkin' Donuts is owned by, that guy has a few franchises in that area, but he's a local guy, community guy, gives back. So I'm like,
at the end of the day, these are real people. Even in the big businesses, these are still real people that live in a community, either big or small.
Exactly.
We're all even, and it's funny, you being a marketer, and both of us owning a business. Jesus didn't start his
ministry.
Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. He didn't start it in his hometown. Which I find,
Well, it's because no prophet is welcome at our own home.
There you go.
Because, think about it, though. And I'm lucky to a degree.
Yeah, but this is your hometown.
Right. But even though, this is still... People still knew me around the area.
Yeah, it feels like...
So, I haven't run into this fully yet. I did, I think, more when I was doing the Cutco stuff.
Okay.
Because I started doing well, and I started, I got.
Is that a small business?
It's American made.
Okay.
It's nationwide.
Sure.
As far as small business is concerned, I don't
know what financially makes you a small business or a big business. I don't
think it even goes off of financials. I think they actually do a lot of the metrics based upon employees now.
Oh.
So, if you're under 500 employees, I think that still categorizes you in the government's eyes as a small business.
Oh, all right. Well, then I'm technically a small business.
Yeah. I don't, and maybe, cool. Yeah, and I don't know if it goes off of, I don't really know if it goes off revenue, but I know the stuff that I've done research into, it's they focus on your employee count. But if you can look that up.
I'm going to look it up because I am curious to see why you keep.
But yeah, so I haven't really run into that pushback because of one of the cool things too is Hamburg's really seen this little bit of a revitalization happening in the past 4 years almost now. So I've been out of high school since 2017. I kind of left for a little bit.
Okay.
Came back. And so there's what, and these people would call themselves this, but they call themselves Hamburg implants. Where they're from outside, but then they saw the opportunity and the growth that Hamburg's having, and then they wanted to set up shop here.
Yep.
And then they moved to the town and stuff like that. So
according to the U.S. Business Association or Administration, the SBA, you were correct. If you have less than 500 employees or you make less than $7.5 million.
Okay. That number was, at first I thought it was going to be 5 mil because I've seen the number 5.
Have 500 employees and make 7.5, then you'd be considered not a big business. You're considered a mid-level business, and it goes up to 45 million, and then anything over that is considered big business. Big,
yeah. That's good to know.
Yeah, that's oil companies,
right?
Amazon.
Yeah. So,
yeah. But I think the biggest thing is with the difference is you can see when you go into, like you said, a coffee shop, or if I support your business and I'm paying you, I could see the immediate impact that that my dollar has.
Right.
If I go to McDonald's, I don't really see that.
Right. And
I know where it's going. It's, and that, but it's not really impacting the person that's getting paid.
Right. And
peanuts to the dollar.
And here's one of those things too. As Christians, we are called to steward our resources and our money well. And that, I think the deeper you get into Christianity, you understand that's not just finances, but that's our time, our energy. It's everything. And I'm knowing a lot of these businesses in town in Hamburg, and I can only talk for Hamburg.
Sure.
I would say a solid, at least 80% are strong Christians.
Oh, wow. Well, that first of all, that's fantastic.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Really strong, devout Christians. And this isn't necessarily what you would consider it's an old PA Dutchy town. So to have the Christian roots is kind of
it's the
normal.
backbone of the society.
Right. But to have that strong of a showing in the local business community, I'm confident. Yeah, I'm confident that if I'm giving my money I'll go the mill, for instance, here.
Sure.
If I'm buying coffee at the smoothie distillery downstairs, she's a Christian. And I also know that last year during the holiday season, she ran a food drive where she was literally giving out full meals to anybody that needed.
Yeah.
And was just taking donations. And it was just something extra that she wanted to do to give back and provide.
That's awesome. And that leads me sort of in that regard when you do small business, and in this case, I'm going to take it to Christian business, especially when you go to like a Chick-fil-A, which is a big business, or you go to your local Christian business, you know every 10% is going back to a Christian organization because we're supposed to tithe, and that and that helps to bring the gospel or whatever it is they're backing. Right. Hopefully, the same something good from it. Yeah. Same faith sort of feeling, and especially locally, they're going to give to the church. The church hopefully will give to people in need and so forth. And that just absolutely cycles. And the other thing I think about small business in a small town is when you spend money in a small town or a small business, the dollar grows. It's absolutely the value is higher. But the counter argument to that is if you never have big business or big city come, we'll dive into this. I love this. Keep going. Your money won't grow. It'll stay strong as the value of it, right? But it won't grow because you have you need outsourced people to come in and shop locally, right? To bring in revenue.
So this is my business 101. Okay. All right. There is a cycle of business. Yes. That always happens. Yeah. Right. So every business, like we talked about in the beginning, starts out small. Yep. Right? It's nearly impossible to start a global phenomenon out of nowhere. Yeah. Right.
I have $100 million. I'm ready to dump into this.
Right. Like
it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. Right. Yeah. So every business starts out small.
Sure.
And what happens, and this is like I would consider it your quote unquote the life cycle of a business. So starts out small. The average business fails within the first 2 years.
Yep, that's correct.
Actually, majority of businesses, not even the average, the majority of businesses fail in the first 2 years. So for any business owners listening that are more than 2 years, congratulations, you are above average. Yeah. And
a real scary thought on that is, and this is a big business solution, if you really want to know, and I did this, you take everything, your finances, your employees, everything, and you use Gemini, but you could use ChatGPT, and you ask it, yeah, do you see a future in this? And that's every business owner's nightmare because you don't want to hear, you don't got a shot. Yeah.
Ooh,
sometimes
there's
that's
like
good,
so many different segues I want to go with this conversation today too. So yeah, and when you look at the life cycle, every business starts out small. Yes. And then the successful ones that continue to adapt and grow and provide will eventually become, even if it's not in the categories by the SBA as a big business or a medium business or a big business, they will grow to a big business in the sense, right? Yeah. Where they're going to be more established, they're going to be more, they can charge the higher premium because they have the expertise, the track record of success, the improvements, right? So while that naturally happens, because as you know, like when you first got started, you were probably taking, lower end jobs.
I was taking any job.
Right. And I was doing the same thing. Yeah. And then you got to the point where your time became so valuable that you had to start saying no to those ones, or you had to start offering a higher price.
I'm gonna pause you on that because you're right. We don't take on every job. But when somebody walks into my business, we always say we're always here to help you. Right. And I think that's the difference between a big business and a small business.
Absolutely.
Big business has to look and say your time is just not your finances are not valuable to us. We make more by rejecting you than accepting you. Right. Where our mindset is we still want to help people. At the end of the day, we're being faith-based is you want to help people.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter if it's financial or not. Right. When we still do that, that doesn't mean we take on the job. Yeah. Because now, like you said.
But you can point them in the direction. Yeah. But guess what? So when you started, you had businesses above you that had a longer track record.
Oh my God, yeah.
Were pulling in the bigger clients, and you were the small fish in that big pond. Yeah. Now you're at the point, and I'm not going to say you're the big fish, but I'm
the big fish.
I would say you're the big fish. All right, yeah. So we're going to go with it. Yeah. So you are the big fish now.
I am, yeah.
Now guess what that does? It creates the opportunity for somebody like you were, smaller, to offer services for less.
Yes.
And now they get started. And that's the cycle of business. Every small business will grow, and then once that business grows, it creates the opportunity for other businesses to be like a little bit ingenuitive
you're correct.
tailor off of your success
Yes.
and make their own path.
Yeah.
And that's just the cycle.
No, I have a funny story about that. So I do have competitors. It's it is what it is, and it's very difficult when a competitor tries to do something that is unethical in a sense.
Yeah.
So we've had this. I've had this a couple times where people have taken images of my work and put it on their website.
Oh, we don't like that.
Yeah, it's not kosher. It doesn't feel good.
Not very kosher at all.
And we were sitting in a meeting with a very large casino, and at the time we were doing a lot of work there. And it was like 10 women.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and this just got really chatty and chippy, and and
Right.
they were, oh, you should do this to me, you should do that to me, you should do this to me, you should do that to me. And yes, I wanted to do all those things. I wanted to sue them. I wanted to watermark my images. I wanted to do, and every suggestion they had was wonderful. But being the difference between a small business and a small faith-based business is two different things.
Absolutely.
And my faith-based business went, and this is true, and you could ask my wife if she ever comes on. I remember sitting
I'd
there.
love to have your wife on.
Oh God, she hated it, but I remember sitting there saying, yes, she has my images. Yes, she has my work on her website, but maybe that's the best image she got. Maybe that's best. Like my work is her best thing on her website, and that was hard.
And here's one of. And it stinks that somebody has to do that. Like, I don't think that that's ethical. But what I will say, though, is, like, there is a part of business, and we just have to accept it. Yeah. Like, for instance, like, I do digital marketing. That still happens
to me, by the way.
I believe it.
A lot.
And I do digital marketing.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things that I do is just copycatting.
Sure. Yeah,
like, some of my most successful videos, and, like, that's just the way that, especially social media marketing goes.
I mean, you're just recreating.
Yeah. And that's the thing, though, is, like, how can you... I don't think it's wrong to take the idea, and make it your own. It's when you take some like literally taking your pictures.
Yeah, they took my image. Of
that's
my
a different story. Like that's not what I'm.
It was 100% my work though, and I was just like,
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Man. But like,
and I was young in my career at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was very insecure. I think is.
And that's when Greg knew that he made it.
No, that's not true. But I was very insecure. Of my work at the time.
Okay.
And and so my wife brought me on board to do designing.
Right.
I said, and I was very insecure about it. I was very like conscious about it, and I did not. My golden rule to her was I don't want to see anybody else's work.
No, I get that. I like that, honestly,
because I was like, I just want it to be mine. I don't want to be authentic. And then once I built up my confidence enough, then I could sit there and look at other people's work and then be like, yeah, I could do that. I'm as good as they are now.
No, I love that because in the beginning when I was starting mine, I almost, and this is how I failed the first time.
Yeah.
And trying to start this business, and almost, I think probably it halted my initial start. Was I would just look at my competition and see what they were doing, and I'm like, I can't compete.
Right. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
When I just like let that part go, and I was like, I'm just gonna do my own thing.
Yeah.
And now I can, like you said, now I have the confidence where like I can look at other people's work and I can, number one, I can appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, oh exactly. Yeah, I really like how they did that.
Yeah.
Or
I'm gonna use that next time.
Yeah.
And I've done that.
Or two, I'm like, well, I'm so confident in what I've been able to do and create, and I'm like, well, I can just do it on my own, you know, and I have that confidence now of
and
being able to do that.
Takes time.
It does. It so does.
Yeah.
I was actually, I had somebody on my podcast last week, and it was actually really cool. I went to high school with this guy, but he
Jared?
came. No, it wasn't Jared.
Right.
This was a recording, not fully. It's not up yet, but I went to high school with him and stuff. He reached out, and he's doing some things, and he actually came and he sat down. He's like, "All right, this is gonna be a little different," but he's like, "I've got a whole list of questions for you." And I was like,
"Oh yeah."
And he was like, I was following along with everything you're doing and stuff. And he's like, I know you've shared parts of your story and everything, but he's like, I think the listeners would love to hear more about you.
Oh.
Now the cool thing is we were talking for like 2.5 hours. My usual podcast like an hour.
Yeah.
So I was great that it happened like this because I now can make that 2 episodes. So there's an episode where it's just him and I like talking about him, and it's like a regular. And then I'm going to do like a special edition of like him asking me the questions, and like I'm now the guest, which is super cool. But I got to share this part of my story, which was like, and I'm sure this is the same thing for you. Yeah. Because I was asked like, when did this kind of start for you? Because like it was like we saw, like, you know, you were kind of doing stuff, and then all of a sudden it was just like David's everywhere. Yeah. David's Mr. Hamburg, and it was like it's always how it happens. Like it's seemingly out of nowhere, and I had to like think back on it and like.
And you feel like you end up just here.
Yeah.
Like, and there's always parts of the journey that you kind of remember, but you always end up being a business owner, I think, because, and I will get to this question in a second, but I always feel like I got here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And this isn't my destination either. Right, like, this is just where I'm at right now.
This is just a pause. And
this is just, yeah. And like, for me, I had to look back and I was like, man, when did it start? And I realized, so I originally started this business in August of 2024.
Okay.
And that was like me doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I didn't get really my first paying client until December. Mm-hmm. And then my whole life fell apart. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
And then this was the only business I had left. So it really started then January of 2025. This was my only thing.
Sure.
But even then, I wasn't what I'm doing now. I wasn't everything. And it was like May, and it was kind of like, and I look back and it was like crazy how I thought about it, because it was like in literally like a week and a half, 2 weeks time is when I really blew up. And it was because, number one, I did my first crosstalk episode.
Sure.
And then that started becoming the recurring thing. And then also the other great thing that I did at that same time frame, and it just so happened to work out perfectly, is I dropped my fake ribbon cutting video that week.
Oh, yeah.
And that was when people,
was a good one.
And that was when people started to really know who I was. Because that was when I would walk down the street and people would come up to me like, hey, I saw your video and I loved it. Oh, good. And I was like, I have no idea who you are, but thank you.
Yeah, sure. And that's
okay. And that was when that kind of started. Yeah. And then the slow, steady process, and you might have had this too, and I would love to actually ask your input on this.
Yeah.
Because you are a pretty prominent figure in your area and especially your industry. Like people know Leo Design, right?
Yeah. So when I first started, I would have to, like, for give you a little back content, I do a lot of weddings.
Yep.
That's my bread and butter, 200 to 300 a year. But they'll be like, hey, I want Susan fabric on a ceiling. All right, I've never been in this facility. I'm just start, so I would have to Google images and, show them, okay, this is what I'm thinking, and all that. And I had to sell it. Right. Now, to give you an example, the past 2 people that I met with in like the past 2-3 days, they come in and it used to be I would have to sell you. Mm-hmm. Now they just go, I've been on your Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Amazing.
And
how much?
I'm not at your level yet with the business, but even just this year.
But you will be though. And that's great.
But here's what I'm saying is just that little fact that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
I've already seen that now. Yeah. And I've only been in business, really like a year.
Yeah.
So I've had people now that reach out to me, and I don't have to go out and do. Now I've been blessed by God because I haven't had to do any cold outreach for any of the clients that I work with.
Right.
God has somehow through everything orchestrated that our paths connected. Yeah. And just through organic word of mouth, everything like that, I was been able to grow. Yeah. But this year I've had 3 or 4 occasions so far of like people reaching out to me and saying, I want to work with you. Yeah. I've seen your stuff. I've been following you around, and I just, and I don't even have to sell. I'm like, oh yeah, let's talk about what you're looking for. But
I'm going to put this back to the original question. It's more important in small business, big business. We're both small business, but a lot of us are using a platform, which I use a lot of Instagram.
Yep. You guys do really great stuff on Instagram. By the way, shout out to Leo Design Galleries on Instagram. They phenomenal. I mean,
my wife does most. She does 99%.
She does a great job.
She does a great job.
That's coming from a digital marketer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Yeah,
well,
we've talked about that.
Yeah. And what's your platform that you use most of? TikTok.
I'm on
Insta, Facebook.
So that's the problem with the digital marketer. So I have my personal Facebook, which is also like where
I'm not trying. I'm just talking business here for a second.
Yeah, but because I'm a brand.
Yeah.
So I post the most on all of them equally. That's the problem. Fine. So I have Across the Way LLC.
Yeah.
Which has Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
Sure. Okay.
I have Crosstalk, which has Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
Okay.
And then my personal Facebook.
Yeah, which is whatever.
Which is I promote everything on that.
You use the platform of YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Yep. I also have LinkedIn too, but I don't really go on it. Yeah.
Are those 4 things small business or are they big business?
Those are big business.
Those are big businesses, yeah.
Yeah.
But we use them the same.
Right.
So we're using a big business to help our small business.
Exactly. And
it's a yin and a yang, I guess, which I hate the term, but
yeah, but I think the best way to go about it is like it's there is the element of, especially when you get into like, all right, so again, going back to the stewarding thing, right? So I think the legalistic approach in this regard would be like, all right, well, I don't want to support big business, so I'm not going to use Facebook, right?
Sure.
And I've had to wrestle with this. Like we talked, like I have a ministry TikTok account.
Yeah.
And I really didn't want to do that.
Right.
But I just felt God nudging. And I was like, God, like I don't want to be one of those social media prophets. Like I don't want to be that.
If
like
that's not
I was
for
like,
you, then
just
that's not for you. Yeah.
But I just felt God nudging me and doing it. I was like, man, okay, so I did it.
Yeah.
And what I've come to realize is God, say what you want, right? Like we learn in the end of Genesis and Joseph's story that everything that the enemy intended for evil, God makes for good.
Yeah. Yes.
So whether or not you think social media or AI or whatever it is Satan himself running it, whatever the case is, God still is in control of everything, and he will turn everything for the good. And I really think it would be silly for us to think of, and I always like to put it this way. There are things that, and I think this is what Jesus came with the religious people, is like religion kills the opportunity for God to work. Right?
Yeah, because it's not about religion.
Exactly.
It's about relationship.
Exactly.
And that is the heart and soul of small business and small business thinking.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't want to get up to heaven and God, and I think this is how, and this is one of my Davidisms, but I think when I go up to heaven, so we have the book of
Davidisms.
You have the book of life that our names get written into.
Yes.
But I think when we get up there too, I think God's going to show us the book that he made for our lives. And what he's going to do is he's going to show us.
He's going to show us the judgment that we.
Right, but it's going to show us his originally designed plan of how everything would have been perfect in his will. And then he's going to show us the ways that we deterred.
Right, we kept going off course.
And he's going to show us how he was able to redirect it back into his will. And now here's the thing that I don't want to happen.
I like the Davidism.
Yeah, thank you. I don't want to get there and
it just looks like
that, but it's also then he's
down.
like, David, I gave you XYZ resources and you never used them. Why? And then I have to say to him, well, because I thought that it was going against you. And he's like, well, I put them in front of you and I gave you those nudges and I gave you these things. And he's like, and you didn't use them. Like, think about this. And like, this was the hugest, and this was part of my shift. And this is kind of where I wanted to get to with you, with the question I was alluding to earlier, which is like, when I started to have people notice and recognize me, and it starts to like, you can get a little bit of an ego. You can, people, you feel important.
Yeah.
And that was my strongest thing that I had to wrestle with, because I would always be like, well, I want to point people to Jesus. I want to point people to Jesus. And like when people started the Mr. Hamburg thing, I actually felt super uncomfortable with it. And I was like, no, like I'll just shut it down immediately. And I'd be like, no, like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Sure. I understand.
And I'm a part of a group of Christian business owners, and the guy that runs it was like, but why?
Yeah.
And he's like, people don't call me Mr. Hamburg. He's like, he's like, and it's a crazy analogy, but he's like, but think about this. He's like, how many more connections is God going to be able to create in your life because people consider you that?
That's true. And
because it's putting you in the position.
And they want to have the conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
And he said, so where I'm going with this is like, I don't want, if God, we see mega church pastors all the time, and we can think however we want about them.
Yeah.
Those ones that get paid to speak and do all those things.
There's a whole thing on that. We'll touch base on that one day.
But the part of it too is we have to understand that God orchestrates everything.
He does.
And my thing is this: who am I,
right,
to think that I need to be humble in keeping my business, my platforms, my reach small, if God Himself plans on using me globally,
especially in the Instagram, the YouTube.
Yeah,
you might be saying something that might not resonate here, but could resonate anywhere in the world.
Right.
And you don't know who you're going to speak to, who you're going to
absolutely,
in that opportunity.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely I think the marriage of the two, the small business and big business. I think a lot of it's personal, but we do need both.
Absolutely.
Because like I just said,
and there are some great big businesses out there too. Like,
of course,
there's so many great.
They're not all just evil empires,
right?
Even though I think a lot of people justify it as that, like, oh, they're an evil empire. I'd rather go to.
It's funny how we think. It's funny because if we just, and I think it's literally just the money part. It's we give money too much credit.
Sure.
Because we think if somebody has a lot of it, then they're greedy and selfish. But like in reality, it's like some of the most greedy people I've met are the ones that don't have money, and the most.
This is correct. So to give you a little backstory and tie into that is when my company blew up, not blew up as in
I know what you mean.
But when we really started, like we took over a couple of our competitors. Was never our thought process to take over our competitor. It was something that
opportunity presented itself.
An opportunity presented itself, and how I got or obtained those was during COVID. I went out and I said to my wife, who was very panicked because we were out of business. Our yard looked fantastic, but that was beside the point. For the first time in like our 20 years, being there. Anyways, I said to my wife, the governor at the time said, nobody's allowed to have an indoor event. Everything has to be outdoors. So I said, well, and I was in prayer and God, really pulled me through it because I never got depressed. I never got scared. I never thought, when's my next meal coming? None of that. I always felt very, very secure. But he said to me something very important. He said, you might not have money, you might have not all these things, but one thing you do have that you never had in your entire life is time. And I was like, oh, I never really viewed it that way. And what that meant was you have time now to help all these people that have spent, the average wedding is going for $40,000, $50,000.
Right.
They're losing all that money.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing you could do. If you drop $40,000 on the food's being shipped. It's not coming in.
Right.
You're not getting that back. Yeah. So we took that opportunity and we posted just a little blurb on Facebook. If you need a facility for your wedding, hit us up.
Wow. And
within 24 hours, we had something like 2,000 to 3,000 people have contacted us.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And we tried to place all these people. We were up 3, 4 in the morning just trying to find places. And it got in the paper.
Yeah. Which
was never our intent.
Yeah.
By the way. And anyways, my one competitor.
It's so cool though that God.
Yeah.
To point this to him,
sure.
You could have very easily had that thought and been like, we're not doing that. That's stupid. Yeah. That's not good for business, right?
Yeah.
But you trusted, you were faithful, you were obedient.
I did.
And you took that first step.
Yeah.
And then God was the one, because I know your heart. And some people might be listening to that and be like, you can't say that wasn't your true intentions. I know that wasn't your true intention. All right.
Yeah.
You come across sometimes as not so humble, but I think I'm
not wearing any Gucci today.
You're not. But you have the servant's heart. You have that. And
I've always wanted to be a good listener.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you took that first step and then you were obedient, and then God said, and guess what? You thought that was the best thing that's going to come from this?
That's true. That's all I wanted to do.
And then he gives the newspaper.
Yeah.
He makes that post blow up.
Yeah.
Everything that happened and came after the fact. Now continue.
Yeah. So the post comes out, and then my competitor purchased all this big business. I'm not going to say who it is, but they were worth like $40 million.
Wow.
And he purchased that division, that what I do. And he calls me, and we were in Florida, because we were like, maybe we should move to Florida because it's warm here. We could do work full year.
And it also helped that they were one of the first states to kind of like reopen back up and do everything at the time. Yeah.
Well, so the people, to give you a little bit, the people that we were placing in the tents, then they were calling us and going, well, we need it decorated. We need it to look nice. Mm-hmm. So I got income.
Yeah.
So, and I was just happy with that. I was just like, oh, this is great. I'm making the income again. I don't have to, I have 3 kids. Like I don't have to worry about that.
Well, still providing a really great service for everybody for a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, exactly. And we had enough money. We went to Florida. We're like, let's just go to Florida for a couple of days. Yeah. Like, let's really consider moving here.
Yeah.
And so my competitor calls me. I get off the plane. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Didn't think nothing of it. Mm-hmm. A couple of days go by. He calls me again. He goes, no, I need you to come in. Okay. And I come in and he goes, listen, I purchased this company that does all the business in Berks County, most of it, did like 80%. And he goes, I don't want it. Okay, well, great.
Congratulations.
Yeah, right. Thank you. I don't know what you want to.
Cool. You got a lot of money to spend on something you don't want, right?
Yeah,
great.
It must be nice. You know? That's sort of where my brain went.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, you don't understand. I'm giving it to you.
Wow.
And I was just like, what do you mean you're giving it to me? He goes, I'm giving you their staff, their supplies, and all their contracts.
Get out.
And I was like, no, that can't be real. And he was like, no, here you go. And he was like, you're the only, he goes, I've seen the article of you helping people. And he goes, I have the Lord in my heart and our job is to help people. And I knew you would help.
Come on.
These people.
Yeah.
I know your heart. Your heart is to help people. And that's why I'm giving it to you.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we became a bigger business and getting back to the point of we look at the big businesses, the evil empire. Mm-hmm. We then had all these other small businesses that were on sort of our level at the time. Now, like, well, why did you get it? I do better work than you. I've been around longer than you. I've been this and this and this. And we lost a lot of friends.
I believe that.
Yeah. So you're like in this high of like, oh my God, I got all this stuff, and I could actually have a business that my kids can one day have and I could grow and I don't have to be in poverty my entire life. I can, because there's times you think about it in small business, you might have the unfortunate pleasure of like, do I go bankrupt? I have no income today. Yeah. I don't know when income's coming in.
Yeah.
You go through all that. And then once we kind of made it a little bit, and those things still do happen, but we can plan for them now.
Right.
We have that security to be like, okay, we know when our downtime is, when our uptick is, and you save, you harvest when it's time to reap what you sow.
Absolutely.
But we lost a lot of friends.
I believe that.
Yeah. So that was tough. It was great and bad all at the same time.
Yeah. There's 2 things that I think would be cool for us to also touch up on. I mean,
sure.
I know we kind of started this just like small business, big business, but I think business in general, I think this is a great topic. And
I don't know where we're at.
We're 50 minutes. That's fine.
All right. Well,
this will be a long one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
we can wrap it up a little bit too. Yeah. Really. We could always come back to this because Steve is great at this because he's a salesperson.
Right.
So he's not a business owner, but he works for a business and he got to sell the business.
Right. So my first thing is not fully a question, but
sure.
One of the things that I loved from, especially when I was early on with this, and I think it was actually when I had you on my pod, you were talking about how a new business in your niche opened up down the street from you.
Yeah.
And you and your wife went and dropped off flowers, I think.
Yeah.
And like introduced yourselves.
Yeah.
And everything.
No, we knew them.
Yeah.
I did her wedding.
Yeah. So you went to a competitor.
Yeah.
And instead of being like, oh, they're coming to take my business, you went there and you offered a hand, and you also figured out ways that you guys could collaborate, work together, and do that. And that was one of those things where I already kind of had that thought process in my head.
Yeah.
But I still had a little bit of that, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
it's tough.
And I was wrestling with that. But
see, you're not allowing God to do his work.
Absolutely. And then you challenged me on that because I had to really wrestle that. And I'm so happy to say that, like, now I'm at the point next week, I have somebody joining me on the Crosstalk podcast that literally does exactly what I do.
Yeah.
does social media marketing for local businesses, does, stuff like that. We're in the same category.
You're in the same category. You're in the same boat.
But what's going to be really cool is she's going to come on, share her story. I'm going to promote her business.
Of course.
And everything.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that it gets her more clients.
Sure.
And then if willing, maybe somebody sees that conversation, sees it, and she gets an influx of business, and now she's like, hey.
Yeah. I need
there's some
help with
clients.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
Or whatever the case is. It's I'm leaving that in God's hands.
Yeah, exactly.
If none of it happens, it's still great. Because I'm at the point now, we were talking about,
But that's where your confidence comes in.
Yeah. So listen, first off, it's a business of one for me right now. I'm not at the point where I'm fully ready to, start having the full-time employee and working with me and doing stuff. So there's only so much business that I can handle.
Right.
And it's now to be able to have people that I can have a relationship with and trust. And I'm like, you know what?
It's tough.
Like you said, if somebody comes in and they're just not, sorry to say, the financials don't match the effort that would go into it for you.
And that's hard to tell people no,
but you have to also look at it too in the sense of we are Colossians 3:23 and everything do it as unto the Lord and not as, serving man. So if you take a project that's less money and it's going to require more effort, you're putting yourself as the owner in the position of you're not going to prioritize that. And it's harder to put your all into something when you can't see that return, when you know that there's other things there. And that gives you the freedom to choose when you do those things.
It does.
But if you can give that to somebody else and be like, hey, I can't, but I know somebody that can. I trust them, and they're going to blow your mind, offer you the similar service, similar quality, and it's going to be more in your range of what you can afford. And that is so beautiful to be able to offer. And I wanted to give you the kudos for that, for challenging me.
Yeah, it's hard.
And
because I always look at it. Solomon says it. I don't know what Proverbs it is, but he always sits there and says, when you talk bad about your competitors, you're playing God. But when you praise your competitors and just shine light on them, it's just a weird dynamic, because now all of a sudden God is dropping heaps of coal on them.
Right.
And you're sitting there saying, it's not my will. I don't do you.
Yeah.
You're not, now all of a sudden you're not competing with them.
Yeah. And that's so freeing.
It's extremely freeing.
And then you can just go and focus on running
with yourself then.
Right.
That's how I view it. I challenge myself. I don't want to compete. I don't want to, I still have that where I don't like to look at other people's work, but I will.
Yeah.
And I'll give them credit if it's good work.
Right.
But I'm not going to bash it.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I would have ripped it to shreds.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I was insecure about where I felt, my own skill set. But now I just sit there and say, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
If you like that, you go with that. This is what I'm going to do for you.
Right.
But anyways, I have a couple questions. This is a good one.
Yeah.
We're going to go rapid fire.
Okay.
So I was talking to a mutual friend of ours that you're going to be meeting Thursday.
Okay. Yep.
And he's trying to grow his business. And don't answer right away.
Okay.
I asked him, I said, how many days a week do you work? He goes, 4. So on the count of 3, we're both going to say an answer.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, do you know how many days a week I work? And you're laughing because I think you already know where I'm going with this. So on the count of 3, how many days a week do you work? On the count of 3.
All right.
1, 2, 3,
7. Oh man.
And then he wanted to know why he wasn't being as successful.
Yeah,
and then this was the next question, and we'll go rapid fire one more.
Rapid fire. All right.
Okay.
Come on.
I said, how many hours a day is your business open? And he said to me, well, when I'm done with work, I'm done with work. So I said, do you know when you can call me on the phone? Now, on the count of 3, we're going to say, not a number. I guess we can say a number.
Yeah. Right.
On the count of 3, how many hours a day is your phone line open for business? 1, 2, 3.
24/7. I added the 7 in there too.
7.
Yeah, 24/7.
If you want to know why you're not being successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you have to answer I didn't set this up. There's no script here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the heart and soul of small business right there. And that's the heart and soul of any business.
And we're gonna go deeper on that for a second because people, and this is the weirdest thing, and I'm sure you can probably relate to this a little bit too.
Yeah.
People always ask me, they're like, David, like we see you do all this stuff, like running your business, doing the podcast stuff. Like, what do you do for you? And then my question's like, oh, well, like I have the podcast, I do the business stuff, and they're like, that's work. No. I'm like, yeah, no. But like what you don't understand though, is when you are like, I feel like I am I'm appointed by God to be doing what I'm doing right now, to run this business, to have everything. Yeah. I'm being able to, on a daily basis, wake up, get out of my hammock, and
roll out of the hammock. It's great if there's an earthquake, by the way.
Oh my God. Yeah. Roll rocks me to sleep.
Yeah.
But I wake up and every day I get to do what I love.
Yeah. Yes.
And because of that, I get to live my life on mission, on purpose, regularly. Yeah. So like for things like most people live their lives where they work a job, and this is why I think it's so hard for employees.
And there's nothing wrong with being an employee.
No. We need
not everybody is an employer.
Right.
You know.
And
like you're an employer.
I wouldn't go that far yet.
No, you are, because you employ yourself.
Okay. All right. You know what? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You wake up every day unemployed.
That's right.
Until somebody hires you.
That's right. I like that.
Yeah.
This is why I love our conversations. I always learn something. Yeah. But when you work a job just to pay the bills, then of course you have to look for those outlets to have your hobbies and do those things. For me, it's like I just get paid to do that already. Yeah. So instead of me having to spend money or like, I mean, I will say like I do like hiking and I do like other things. And like I do have to be diligent because like it is important to have a certain point of unwinding. Yes. To be like off.
And time for God. Right. Is very important.
Absolutely. So like sometimes like I feel the most in touch with God, and I feel like a good hobby that I like to do for myself for like self-care is I love hiking. I love nature. I love.
Yeah. That's not for me.
And that's okay. That's how God's wired me. Yeah. You know?
And sometimes and Steve go hiking and mountain climbing and whatever else, skiing, whatever it is you want to do.
I'm not into the skiing. I don't like the snow sports.
Oh, I don't know if he does. I know.
I feel like he does. I feel like he's talked about skiing before.
Sure, he did the water skiing one.
Oh, water skiing.
I don't know if is that a thing? Where you go like in a boat and it pulls you?
Oh yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, I think that is water skiing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done that.
No.
I'll show you a funny video. I was the only time I did something like that was they had like a raft attached to the back, and
yeah, I wouldn't do that.
They took me at like I don't know how many knots, but it was like 60 miles per hour. Sure. Right. And the guy that was driving the boat, not launched me up, but he was like trying to
turned it and boom.
Turned it, and this thing, 60 miles an hour, like flips the raft, and we're tumbling in the water. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. But yeah, being able to like, I have to understand that sometimes my brain, everything for me is content.
Right.
So I'm like, if I'm going on a hike, I want to get a picture. Sure. I want to take the drone off the edge and let it get the nice scenic. Yeah. And sometimes I have to actually like challenge myself, be like, no. Like this one hike is just for myself and with God, and I'll like leave the phone in the backpack or like leave it away.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Simply Heaven. We hope this discussion has sparked your curiosity and provided some comfort in this often confusing world. The first 30 minutes is still. Remember, this podcast is all about honest and real conversations, and we encourage you to reflect on your own beliefs and experiences. If you enjoyed our chat, please consider sharing it with a friend or leaving us a review. It helps us reach more people seeking hope and understanding. I was sitting on. We'd love to hear your thoughts or stories. So don't hesitate to reach out to us on social media. And remember, the journey to understanding is just as important as the destination. Stay blessed, and we'll see you next week on Simply Heaven. I'm up until 1, 2 a.m.
Exactly.
I like to try to get up at 6, but most of the time now, because of sleep deprivation, I'm getting up at like 7 because body doesn't want to get up right away. But yeah, I'll wake up, and then as soon as I wake up, I have to be diligent on. I have to put my phone down, not look at it, and then I just go right to God's word, and I'll read the word, and then it's like, all right, and then I can let my day start.
That's how I am too.
And
I make breakfast and do the Bible app.
Yeah, I like that.
I do the Bible. I do the whole year.
Yeah, I love that.
And it's just on repeat every year. And mine will end in like July, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Just how it worked. I didn't plan it on that, but and then I just hit I'll do another year. I'm going on year 5.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm in this weird-ish season right now. I was reading through the book of Luke.
Okay.
Reading kind of like a chapter a day, just sitting meditating on it. And then this Saturday, I had prophetic words spoken over me of Philippians 2 and Acts 4. So, and then more recently, I just felt God was like, I want you to just sit and meditate on those verses.
Yeah.
So today was my first day.
And that's hard, being a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though it is God, it is, and I want people to understand that is a struggle I think a lot of us have.
Oh, absolutely.
Being an employer, you get pulled so quick.
It's if I
wish I could do that more.
Right.
Go to the secret place.
And that's so hard for me. And one of the great things is I will make sure that when I have church on Sunday I will, unless with the snowmageddon that we had and stuff like that, I wasn't taking the trip, but if there's that, or the ministry Revel 19 that I'm a part of, if there is an event, nothing is more important than that.
Yeah.
And I will put those in my calendar, and those are a non-negotiable, and I'm going there because for me,
well, God's always first.
Absolutely.
God's always first.
And for me, I know that I'm in
I struggle with that.
Yeah. But I think I do too. I do too. Yeah. Because this weekend I was supposed to, I have another event, but I had 3 things that are booked, and one of them was this Revel 19 thing, and I'm like, and I just can't do it this time.
Yeah.
And it's I have to juggle that. I have to wrestle with that. Yeah. But it's
I know. It's tough because I think I think my struggle is I don't, I want to stay home and worship and and do this Bible time.
Yeah.
And okay, we're gonna do a Wednesday at 6, and we're gonna get together and
right.
And then a customer calls, and you could potentially make 0 to
right.
Who knows what? And it's you gotta trust God, and it really shows you that strong commitment that you're willing to do. Are you really going to put God first? And that's a struggle with small business, especially when if you are behind in bills. And I've been there. Oh my God, I got no money. Rent was due 3 days ago. Yeah. How can I avoid the landlord? How am I?
Right.
I'm one payment away from getting my car repoed. I've been in those situations.
Yeah.
But no, I gotta go to church on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, God, if you would just have the customer come in Saturday.
Yeah.
And pay me all the money that I'm due.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to worry about this. And that I think is a struggle.
Yeah.
With a lot of small businesses, and people of faith more so.
Yeah, and it's.
But he does say, "Keep my Sabbath," and that's important.
He does. But hold on, I have a hot take on that.
Is this a closing hot take? Because I know we're running a little over.
We're only 7 minutes over.
All right.
So, yes, I think the Sabbath is important, and
the Sabbath is very important.
But I think, as a society, we have taken what the Sabbath is supposed to be,
okay,
and we've misconstrued it.
Okay.
So everybody likes to talk about, and a lot of churches talk about this, about rest.
Yes.
And how rest is important.
It is.
And this is actually, we're going to go sports side here. Yeah. Tim Tebow.
Okay.
He said this in an interview recently, and I think for being a business owner, this was the best verse that this was something that he mentioned, and when he brought it up, it was finally something that I was like, I can relate to that.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So he brought up, he's like, all right, every church is so eager to talk about all of the times that the Bible talks about rest or Sabbath or this or that.
Right.
And he said, but do we ever look at the verses where God says that we're to sprint? That we were to be unwavering, to not stop, to continue going.
Yeah.
He said, we have, as a society, we are so...
Well, look at Jesus even challenged the Pharisees.
Right. And he brought up, the few things about the Sabbath. David broke the Sabbath,
Yeah.
And his point was, he said, we're so quick to that, to focus on this rest.
Right.
And he's like, but we're also called to sprint. And he said, the last thing I want, he's like, when I get to the end of my race, and he said, and that's what it's called in the Bible. It's the end of our race.
Yeah.
He said, I don't want to get to heaven well rested.
Well, that's that's deep.
I want to get to heaven barely making it across the finish line.
Yes.
And I'm so exhausted, but when I get there, Jesus comes, picks me up, carries me the rest of the way, and says, well done, good and faithful servant.
Yeah, that's great.
And he said, it's not that rest isn't important. He said it is important, but he said the Bible doesn't say for us to rest. It says to rest in him.
Yeah.
Rest in him. That is action. That isn't sitting down doing nothing. Right. That is, you have to be diligently putting the effort
he
into...
says about, lifting your fork to your mouth. Is that not work?
Right. And and I think this was the hardest part that I had to struggle with in the beginning, was like, when I got so busy, and like I used to, when I was an employee, I was able to wake up and spend 2 hours in the Word.
Yeah.
And now as a business owner, I'm like, I'm lucky if I can get 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I used to feel so awful about that. And I realized that that's just, it's a lie from the pit of hell. Right. That the enemy is trying to build something against God and myself. And I've had to learn in this more recent season and journey of the power of resting in him, because I can rest in him, and I can worship him, not by just getting down on my hands and knees and singing songs.
Yeah.
I worship him every day that I wake up. I worship him every business interaction that I have, every time that I sit down with